Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to the 6th anniversary of the 2-Bit Review. Now, if you would have gotten into a time machine, gone back in time, and told 2015 2-Bit Jesus that he would still be reviewing video games in 2020, I would have thought it was crazy. Because I was just seeing if I could do it back then. I wasn't even thinking I would be doing it long term, and it's been very cathartic for me to take games that I'm passionate about, whether that be a loving passion or an absolute hatred of a passion, or I guess a dislike of a video game, and being able to just get my opinions and thoughts on that game out into the internet void, and just my opinions in general. It's been awesome, and what's been even more awesome is each and every one of you who've tuned into my videos, liked my videos, commented, suggested games for me to review. Each and every one of you, you guys have been awesome, and I love each and every one of you guys. You guys rock. Thank you for sticking around, and anyone who's just joined, thank you for all the support, and even the people who've been around for a while. Thank you for all of your support, guys. So with the beginning formalities out of the way, let's talk about the game we are going to be reviewing today. Last year, I took a look at Final Fight CD, which is arguably the best port of that arcade original from that era. We're not going to include modern consoles. That's a little unfair, isn't it, folks? So I thought, why not take a look at the sequel to that game, Final Fight 2. Now, I remember going to my neighbor's house and playing this title all the time. They would rent it from Hollywood Video all the time, and we would play it non-stop until we beat the game. I have a lot of memories with my next door neighbor and this game. It's close to my heart, if you will. So, without further ado, let's jump right into Final Fight 2. Alright, before I start these tidbits, allow me to make a correction from last year's Final Fight CD review. I was incorrect in stating that Andor was inspired by Andre the Giant. That is incorrect. He was actually inspired by one of the developer's friends named Andre. Final Fight 2 is a side-scrolling beat-em-up developed and published by Capcom for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, released in the summer of 1993. It is the sequel to Final Fight. As Streets of Rage was Sega's answer to the SNES's Final Fight, one could argue that Final Fight 2 was Nintendo and Capcom's answer to Streets of Rage 2, as it was released at the end of 1992, and Final Fight 2 did not come out till the summer of 1993. No doubt they had seen the popularity of that franchise and the negativity their port of the first game had received. So, to answer the Streets of Rage series, they added 2-player co-op, 3 selectable characters, and one of those 3 selectable characters was a Blaze-like fighter. Capcom continued the expansion of their game universe by having Street Fighter characters cameo in Final Fight 2. I spotted Chun-Li and a guy who looks a lot like Guile. With these tidbits out of the way, let's use all of our Bushin Ryu ninjutsu skills in this review. Controls remain unchanged from the original game. You have the attack button, jump button, and when both are pressed together, you perform a special attack that knocks down everyone around you, but at the cost of some of your own health. Weapons return in Final Fight 2 with 2x4s, pipes, and knives. You also have food that restores your health and various point-related items. There is also a Jin Ryusai doll, which makes you invincible for a very short time. There's also a Guy doll, which will give you an extra life. The playable characters are Hager, returning from Final Fight 1. He is still a tank and by far the best pro wrestler turned mayor that ever lived. Sorry, Mayor Jacobs, you gotta take an L on this one. The 2 new characters are Maki, an agile ninjutsu fighter, who is the daughter/sister of Guy's teacher and fiancé.
Carlos, who is a random friend of our heroes who likes to kick butt. He is the balanced fighter of the group. My headcanon is he's Carlos from Resident Evil 3, since, well, Capcom's doing the shared universe crap with Street Fighter, why not add Resident Evil 2? All the same type of enemies from Final Fight 1 make their way over to this title. No real big standouts in the bosses either. You got Wan Wan from Hong Kong, way to be racially insensitive there, Capcom USA. Freddy, a huge army guy who looks like a cross between Zangief and Guile. Bratkin, a big Frankenstein-looking dude. Felipe, a freaking clown. Seriously, are they even trying here? Roland, who's just a repeat boss from Final Fight 1, but I will forgive them on this one as he was cut from the SNES version. Finally, the big baddie himself, Retu, who was put over in the intro of the game as this monster heel that you gotta be scared of, only to find out he's a pink-haired, toe-shaped, B-rated villain. I gotta say it, folks, Final Fight has a boss problem. It seems a lot of effort is put into the playable characters and overall world, but the bosses seem to be second or even third thought to the overall game. Part of what makes a beat-em-up great is memorable bosses you must overcome. Now, there is some strategy and patterns unique to each boss in Final Fight 2, but it is surface level at best. Level design is basic, but that's not a bad thing. It gets the job done and adds in some new additions for the franchise with vertical scrolling and level hazards that I don't remember being in the first one. Oh no, wait, you had the flames. I remember now, the flames from the factory level. Well, at least that was Final Fight CD. I don't know about the SNES version. The bonus car destroy level makes a return, and I must say, never gets old. I love that bonus level. They also add in other similar destroy bonus levels like flaming barrels. You have 6 stages that span across Europe and East Asia. Each level has a decent length to them. While it has less stages than its predecessor, Final Fight 2 makes up for it in depth in the levels. While gameplay is a big leap over its predecessor on the SNES, it is a modest improvement over Final Fight 1 CD and falls short of its competitor, Streets of Rage. With solid but average gameplay, Final Fight 2 gets 2.5 bits out of 4. The sound is pretty good. Sound quality is great, with that classic SNES quality for the music. The voices and sound effects have a compressed sound to them, but that was the reality of cart-based games. Hits have a very impactful sound to them and make dishing out damage very satisfying. The music gives a bit of variety, though they do reuse some tracks, and once again, they do not have a boss theme for the stage bosses, instead just letting the stage music continue to play. Once again, this takes away from the bosses and makes them feel generic instead of adding a sense of stakes and urgency a stage boss is due. That being said, sound quality is good and the music is great. 3 bits out of 4. Graphics look great since this game was built from the ground up for the SNES. It looks way better than its predecessor on the SNES. Environments are rich with detail. The characters and sprites are big and diverse. Final Fight 2 has a lot of shine to its visual presentation and shows the graphical power of the SNES. The story is a bit similar to the setup of Streets of Rage 2. It picks up shortly after the end of Final Fight 1. Cody took a vacation with Jessica, Guy went off to continue his training, and Hager went back to his mayoral duties. The Mad Gear Gang is reformed by a new leader and they enact their revenge by kidnapping Guy's fiancée, Rina, along with her father, Guy's former master, Jin Ryusai. With Guy off training, Rina's younger sister, Maki, calls Hager for help. Joined by butt-kicker connoisseur Carlos, the gang starts a World Mad Gear Smackdown tour across Hong Kong, France, England, Holland, Italy, and Japan. Once they get to Japan, they fight Retu, the new leader of the Mad Gear Gang. His defeat is similar to Belgar, Final Fight 1's antagonist. You are treated then to an end cutscene. Now, depending on which difficulty you beat the game on, this changes the length of the cutscene. You see Jinryu Sai and Rina being rescued, followed by Guy writing a letter to his friends thanking them for all they have done. The story is good for the most part, but it could have been great if they had just not had that goofball of a main bad guy and had Guy as a playable character, so the stakes would have been higher for the conflict inside the story. 2.5 bits out of 4.
Final Fight 2 on the Super Nintendo is a solid beat-em-up. Definitely worthy to be in anyone's collection, but I would say far from being the best beat-em-up that was ever made. Streets of Rage 4. So, my final verdict for Final Fight 2 on the Super Nintendo is a must-have and a must-play for the casual and hardcore collector of the Super Nintendo. Now, you can find this game online loose for $40, but if you want it complete, you're going to be paying a hefty sum of $141 according to price charts online. So that wraps up another successful anniversary review. Thank you so much to everyone who keeps tuning in, subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, commenting. I would probably still be doing these videos if no one subscribed and no one paid attention to me, but you guys really put it over the top, and I love each and every one of you for it. And of course, if you like this video, again, hit the thumbs up, comment, suggest games you would like for us to review, and if you are new to the channel and this is your first 2-bit review and you liked the, cut of my jib, then, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell. That way you won't miss a thing. I will see you guys next month for a spooktacular review. I'm not going to give away any details. I look forward to reviewing this game, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you again next month. See you then, and as always, stay safe and play on.